Hey, what is going on guys? It's Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we have an incredible 4 vs 4 siege of Londinium. However, this is no normal siege as we have one pro on either team leading a team of 3 noobs. So this is going to be a very high value, high tactic siege where the pros teach their noob players exactly how to attack and defend a settlement. Anyways, if you guys do enjoy this video, then please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyways, let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so the scenario and rules for this match are as follows. The pros on either side are allowed to take 6 elite infantry units plus their general, and they are allowed max chevrons on their units. The rules for the attackers are ultra funds, 6 max of a unit, 2 pikes per player, 3 skirmishers per player, no artillery, and chevrons are allowed. The defender rules are ultra funds, 6 max of a unit, 2 pikes per player, 3 skirmishers per player, no artillery, and no chevrons. So basically the only difference in rules for the attacker and the defenders is that chevrons are allowed for the attackers and they're not allowed for the defenders. Next up, we have to talk about the scenario. The scenario itself, as I said, is one pro leading 3 noobs, both on the attacker and defender side, and that's going to lead to a lot of very high value, high tactical plays. And that's because the pros are going to make sure the noobs, play like a pro would. We're going to be teaching them all the little tips and tricks that we know and trying to ensure that they don't make any mistakes that a noob would usually make. Now, another thing we do need to mention is that the pros picked the factions and the armies for each side. So the way it worked was the defending pro picked their faction first, then the attacking pro picked a faction for their side, then the defending pro picked their next faction, then the attacking pro, and so on until all players had a faction. Now, the way it worked for armies was, after the factions were picked and assigned to the different players, the pros allowed the noobs to build their own armies. We then had a look at it and we changed it as we saw fit. So we basically were able to pick the armies our noob players brought. And in the process, we also taught them, why they shouldn't build an army the way they had initially done and why we are changing it to the army composition that we ended up picking for them. So we try to educate the noob players and try to teach them a little bit about building an army. That being said, let's get into the player introductions and the factions they picked. So for the defending side, starting off with the pro, that is myself, and I am commanding the Swabians, and I picked them because I wanted to get full noble Swabi swords. Next up on my side, the first noob is Baron von Belgium, and he is commanding the Eastern Roman Empire. I picked them because they're a very all-round good faction, especially on the defense. Finally, we have von Wonket. He is commanding the Franks. Again, a very nice faction that has a lot of throwables. Basically, all their infantry have Javi or throwable capabilities. The final noob on my side is Danilo Pentic 7, and he's commanding the Ostrogoths. The Ostrogoths are again a very nice, well-rounded faction, whether on attack or defense. On the attacker's side, their pro is Lord Omar, and he's commanding the Langobards. The reason he picked them is because the Langobards have some of the most deadly infantry in the game, with Godan's Chosen. As you can see, he brought 6 units of them, all fully gold chevron, and they're going to definitely be able to do a lot of damage. His first noob is Vinny, commanding the Visigoths. His second noob is Hola, commanding the Western Roman Empire, which I do think was a mistake in picking. Western Rome is a solid faction, but they're not the greatest on attack. They're a much more defensive-based faction. His final noob is Alucard 97 Gold, and he is commanding the Roman Expedition. So that is the factions and the players as well as the army compositions out of the way. This is going to be a really fun match, so I hope you guys are ready, and let's get into it. Okay guys, so the match has started, and we unfortunately do not have the live POVs of either side, so I'm not going to be able to splice footage in to show what was being talked about. However, being a pro myself, I know pretty well what the attackers are doing and thinking at each stage. Plus, obviously, being the pro that was leading the defense, I know what the plan was. So I'm going to try to include as much technical knowledge and as much, strategy and tactics and game knowledge as I have as possible throughout the siege. So if that's not for you, then this video may not be your favorite, because this is going to be a lot of tactical talk, a lot of strategy, a lot of talking about what the plan was, about the fallback plan, about how we set up the defense, etc. So there's going to be a lot of that. Now, first up, let's get started with what I think the attackers are doing over here. So as you can see, the attackers have basically 3 armies arrayed over here, and they have 1 army arrayed over there. Now, when I say 3 armies, I am also including the pros army, so you'll see his units over here. Yeah, there we go. You can see all his Godin's chosen, all of them with full gold chevrons. He's currently hiding them in the woods so that we don't see them, and we're unsure of where he's deploying. And in the meantime, he has his allies. This is the Western Roman player pushing up with siege towers. And as you can see, he is using a lot of siege towers. And that's because if I'm trying to fight on the walls, or if we're trying to fight on the walls and they get siege towers behind the unit or inside of the unit that's already engaged, it's going to be able to take that unit out really quickly. So he's going to be getting a lot of siege towers pushed up, both from the Western Roman player as well as the Roman Expedition player that's pushing up here. He does have 1 player over here. They don't have the biggest force. They do have 1 unit of cav. It's just in case of a salliad, I guess. They wanted to ensure they could protect their infantry a little bit. Though honestly, we could have gone with the salliad. We have enough generals and cavalry to actually deal with this, especially since their only other allied cav is all the way over there on the right side. But if we look over here, we have the Visigothic player, and he's got a whole bunch of Gothic Palatina defectors. He's got some Thracian Oathsworn, and he has, some more Palatina defectors, all of them with gold chevrons. And he's got a whole bunch of siege towers here, and he's waiting. As you can see, he's not pushing up immediately. I think that was a mistake on the attacker's side. I think the pro on the attacker side, Lord Omar, is making a mistake by doing that. I feel like he should have pushed this up earlier or pushed that at the same time so that, he applies pressure here while also applying pressure on this side. But because he didn't do that, we have some troops arrayed here, but we can just pretty much sit back and focus on one flank because he's only attacking on that flank while he waits for, a slightly later push on this side. Actually, wait, is he moving? I swear I saw some movement. No movement yet. Oh, he also does have a general there, so he has 2 units of cav. Now, over onto the defense while we wait for these units to get over. So, we're not holding the wall too much, but we are kind of. So the plan here is, as you can see, we have some elite sword here banned from the Franks, and they're holding this tower. And that's because, we're going to try to defend this tower, because even if they land here, it doesn't matter how many units they have. The capture zone is down here and a little bit over here. So long as we have a unit holding, it's going to be able to defend the tower for quite a while. And we're hoping that that will be worthwhile because the tower will get enough kills. Now, in the middle, we're not defending this tower at all on the wall because they can't land in between it, I don't think. So instead, we just got a little bit of a defense set down here. We have some Royal Astrations and we have some Royal Astrations. And the reason they're set in this formation is because they're covering any units that come down the walls from the towers. So anything comes down the stairs will be covered, and anything that comes through the gatehouse will also be covered. And in the meantime, we have some Gothic Falksmen over here. Oh, okay, auto fire is on. I must have told him to turn it off. I think that was a mistake because, that was a terrible angle. As you can see, all the javelins just bounced off the wall and did nothing. But we have some Gothic Falksmen here, and these guys are meant to actually come and cycle charge anything in the side that comes over here. This is a much better angle. These Royal Astratones are getting a couple kills. Still, it's only 4 kills. I would wait until they get set up on this side of the wall so that we can do some more damage. Over on this side, we have the fight unfolding. This is the sword, the elite sword here, band fighting some armor Gary defense swords and some elite Palantina. And they're gonna try take this. They're gonna try take this tower down as quickly as they can, so that they're actually able, to do some damage. Because once this tower is down, they won't be losing any more troops to it, and they can then focus on pushing down here. Now, our plan. So if we have a look at the defense, the reason I put this in slow mo is because I just want to quickly talk about our defense. So we do have a little bit of a backline here with some Eastern Auxilia Palantina and some what is this, Menelautoi? Yep, Menelautoi. So we have some pikes watching the back just in case they try something and coming from behind. We also have one of our barricades here with, again, a pike and spear watching it. We have some reinforcements in the town center, some spare pikes, some spare spearmen, and then we have the rest of our army arrayed here. Everything over here is pretty much reinforcements to be sent up wherever needed. This is a little defense in case they try to push here. We have 2 of my noble Swaby swords. Remember, I only have 6 elite units, so where I use them and where I decide to place them are going to be very important. So I have them holding this barricade along with the unit of Protectoris Domestici over here. So they will hold and they will slow down the enemy while my noble Swaby swords will use their throwables. On this gate, we have the same kind of defense, except unlike the other gate, there's no gap, and that's because we don't really want to have to micro two sides, if we can help it. So instead, we just have a nice formation over here, so anything coming down the through the stairs or coming to the gatehouse will not be able to push through. But we do have a unit of Atari guards there to both cycle charge in and also throw axes over. On this wall, we have units, some protectors domestically, some cheap units that are holding. Just in case they do land, we'll have something to hold them. And we have some Gothic warband also holding the bottom over there. Now back over to the side, you can see we have a very similar thing going on. We have a unit of sword hairband holding this tower so that they can't just come and capture the tower. Instead, they will take losses while trying to do it. And then over here, we have the same thing with the elite sword hairband unit holding the stairway. Now, you can see that the attackers have actually landed directly on it. So they have a tower here that is dropping up Herculani Seniors. They have some more Herculani... Oh no, these are Armageri Defensors? There has to be an Herculani Senior unit here though. Armageri Defensors, and yeah, Herculani Seniors. So yeah, we have two units over there pushing. So this unit is surrounded, this elite sword hairband unit, they're surrounded from the left and from the middle, but they're going to try and hold as long as possible yeah, because these Falcons, they need to be charging in over here to cycle charge, as well as, try and stop anything coming through here. We're going to go back to normal speed, but this is going to be a very skirmish heavy start, and when I say skirmish heavy, I mean using swordsmen. So as you can see, we used up all the throwables on the Royal Astrations. Unfortunately, this was a bad angle, shouldn't have been wasted there, but it's okay. I mean, they tried. Over here, wait, yep, there we go. Over here, they used this unit of Axe Hairband. So the unit was over here, and they used it to throw up onto the wall. And as you can see, that works out really well. This unit got 50 kills just from using its throwables, and that's what we have to do. We have to try and use all throwables, as effectively as possible, which is what I was telling my new players. I said, make sure you're cycling up units that have ammo. For example, this Royal Astratones, Axe Hairband, send them up, let them use their throwables on vulnerable units, and then pull them back. Because later on, we don't want to, waste a unit in melee that hasn't used up all their throwables yet. Now over here, you can see these Gothic Falconsmen charging into the rear of the elite Valentina. They are also sending some units through the gatehouse, so these are some Scooter Toy Axemen, and they're trying to outflank the flank, but this unit is going to be damaged a lot from the actual tower. Oh, there we go, look at this archer fire coming in. Are they coming in for the axes or the skirmishes? I think for the skirmishes. Yep. Oh my god. Okay, 30 men dead, and he's pulling back. And that's because we have to make sure we are very careful with the way we do this. We cannot afford to lose to that. And there we go. There we go. Nope, another hit. Okay, so what I told the player here to do is archer dodge. Because he's fighting 3 units of archers by himself with 1 unit, don't fight the archer, just run back and forth. Dodge the arrows instead. That's going to be far more effective. He does have some more elite Germanic archers here firing back. Getting some nice hits on these archers over there. They're also firing back, but he's running away. Look at that. That is a beautiful archer dodge. Look at that. Look at that, okay? I'm going to pause over there because we're missing some stuff, especially with those towers collapsing. But that is what I wanted to see, okay? That's what I'm telling my players to do. Fire a volley and then run back and forth so their arrows miss. So he fired a volley that hit the enemy archers. They fired back and all their volleys missed. Now over here at the middle, we have a massive collapse by the towers. Now remember, when the towers collapse, they do damage to units around it. So this unit of Elite Valentina has taken a lot of losses. Luckily, our Falconsmen over here, I think, were already dead. I don't think they died to the towers, but a lot of the units from the attackers did die over there. We do have reinforcements up here as well if needed, and they are trying to make use of this gap. So remember, we left a gap to cycle charge in with. They're trying to make use of it with these Herculanis, but it's a depleted unit. And yes, I know this is a 400 gold Gothic Falconsman unit, okay? It's a 400 gold unit against an 800 gold unit, basically, with the chevrons. But Gothic Falconsmen, even though they're the cheapest unit in the roster for the Ostrogoths, they have amazing AP and an amazing charge bonus. And look at that, look at that. They're just chopping the heads off these very elite Herculani Seniors, and that's because you have to use your units effectively. You can't go and just take an expensive unit and say, oh, it's expensive, it's going to win. No, you have to use units for what they're good at, okay? In the case of those Falconsmen, it's cycle charging. It's killing heavily armored enemies with a very cheap unit, which is what we're doing over there. Over here, we have some Elite Valentina in, I don't know, weird formation, I guess, trying to fight. They're fighting these Royal Astratones, which are not doing good, considering they're at 55 men with only 26 kills. This unit is doing a bit better, though. There we go. We have some Archer Fire returning. Now, this is not good. My allies, my noobs have their archers all very grouped up, which is going to make them vulnerable to return fire. And again, that is the problem trying to command noobs, you know? They're still going to make mistakes even when you tell them not to. We are firing back though, trying to do some damage to these archers. And the attackers right now are making a mistake. They should have their archers in loose formation. Because they have all the space of being outside the settlement, they can afford to put their archers in loose formation and shoot back. They'll do that eventually, but for now they're not, so we're actually going to be able to skirmish them back pretty well. Look at the amount of archer fire coming over. Yeah, this is not good, okay? So I'm busy trying to tell everyone what to do. I was trying to deal with this especially right now because they killed the axe hairband unit or the sword hairband unit, so they're going to be able to come off. So we're going to have to try and stop that, so I wasn't paying proper attention here. But yeah, my allies are skirmishing back and forth. Again, this is not going to be a winning skirmish for us if the attackers play it smart. But if they don't, then we can actually, you know, we'll be able to do something. But again, he should have had his units doing what this unit was doing, which is shooting a volley and running back and forth, shooting a volley, running back and forth. And there we go, there we go. So this is the Ostrogard player, Danilo. Yep, he's figured. I've pointed out, I guess, and now he's running his archers back. I told him, don't waste your time trying to fight that. It's not going to be worth it. They have too many archers against you, and you're too grouped up to do much damage. Now over here by the gatehouse, we have a whole lot of infantry pushing in, as you can see. Axe hairband coming in, some more axe hairband over there, along with the Stippies, the Royal Astratone unit, and they're going to try and stop this. The attackers are going for a bit of a push through. Push-throughs are very dangerous in Attila, guys. If you push through and you don't do it correctly, or even if you do it correctly, you're still going to lose a lot of units. But they're trying to do it, so they're running through this depleted unit, which is actually okay. Just because the unit is so depleted, it won't do much damage. My ally is trying to get some charges off of his axe hairband. We're trying to contain this situation here, but we don't have enough. We only have 2 units over here. There we go, there we go. Royal Astratone unit is going to come in soon to help over at this gatehouse here. So we have the Gothic Falxman. Look at this. This is a 400 gold unit fighting against like 4 units of 750 gold Herculani Senors and Elite Valentina. And those guys have some chevrons, these guys do not, and yet they're already at 80 kills. And that's just from using a very effective, cheap cycle charge unit in the way it's meant to. Now we need to send up help here, because if we don't, this unit is not going to be able to hold. Over here, this axe, this sword hairband unit it's holding for now. It's going to buy us some time with the towers, which is good. But most importantly is this gatehouse. This is the most, this is looking concerning for us. There we go. So they pushed through a bunch over here, and now they just ran away, and that's because they're trying to just, you know, they're trying to send up help here, trying to stop what is happening, because there we go, my general is coming in, Swaby Nobles, charging to the side of this unit. Good charge, really nice charge by my general. And it is dangerous using my general early like this, but I'm trying to, you know, help contain the situation, try and break some of these units, and it's a really good cycle charge opportunity at the moment. I lost 5 men, I got 15 kills, that's not terrible. Unfortunately, these other units are pushing up here. This unit of Feltman is wavering and they're going to break. We're not going to be able to contain this any longer. Over here, the Axe hairband are also breaking and the attackers have pushed through. This was probably a mistake on our part to sit back. We should have sent out more reinforcements to try and hold this and that longer. But yeah, we didn't do it. And right now, there's a little bit of a skirmish battle going on. So these are the crossbows on the wall. Ravenna, Elite Balisari, they have 45 kills and they're just shooting these Germanic archers. Remember, the archers will lose in a straight up skirmish with crossbows like this. However, they have the greater range and they can arc their shots better. So it's better to just pull back and shoot from out of the crossbows range, as the crossbows do not have the same range as an archer unit like that. Now over here, the axe hairband or the sword hairband are dead. So they can actually take the towers, but they do have to worry about us. So we have pulled back basically to the second line of defense. We have some swords, we have some axes, some archers. As you can see here, I have a lot of my noble Swaby swordsmen with full gold chevrons. So these are 4 of my 6 elite units all at the front, with the last 2 being over there. And yeah, we're going to try and hold them over here, try and pull off some shenanigans if possible. Over on this side, yeah, there we go. So now this is better. We're using the range. We're out of range of the crossbows. And we're out of range of the crossbows, but they're in our range. And so the archer unit over here is just going to kill them. And yeah, there we go. That's a full unit of Ravenna Elite Balisari. 1 unit of skirmish is dead on the attacker side. That's very bad because, you know, they needed to use up all the ammo. Look at the ammo, it's basically full. So that is not good at all for the attackers. Yeah, they are sending up some Tagmata cavalry. This is scary because they could easily get us some charges on these bows or even on these swords and axes. These guys are not going to be able to hold against cav. Even in formation, it's still going to be an iffy thing fighting against a unit of cavalry and Attila. Over here in the middle, we have a unit of swords and axes holding. We have some depleted archer units trying to use up their remaining ammo, get some kills. Not the greatest use. This unit, I'm pretty sure, died to enemy skirmishes, but it's okay overall. Now over here, we have some Eastern Armored Legio. This is from Baron von Belgium, from the Eastern Roman player. He's got them in formation, he's got them in testudo, and they're holding like this so that if these guys try to use their throwables, which they were doing, you know, this unit should be able to hold. Over here, I am trying to do some stuff over here. This is not good. Yeah, they got a charge in on me. I'm trying to get my unit into shield wall. I don't know if they did. Yeah, actually, no, they got into shield wall. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to hold here. We're going to fight the Scudetoi Axemen. My swords are going to win because, you know, this is a fully Chevron Noble Swaby sword unit. So it's going to win against these Axemen. And they try to flank around, but thankfully I have my Noob ally Danilo send in a unit of Thracian Oldsworn, so they're going to get a nice charge off. And these Bukalari Guard are collapsing. They are collapsing because Thracian Oldsworn are insane. They're amazing cycle charge units, so they're going to do a lot of damage to them. And we have another unit circling around. Now, a lot of stuff is going on here. I'm going to slow it down just so we aren't missing anything. Okay, nothing's happening over here. Over here is just a standoff, so all the action is over here. So as you can see, I charged in over here. My ally charged in, and he's flanking around with another unit. So these guys are going to get behind, and by getting behind, he's going to be able to break this unit really easily. As you can see by the order, yep, he's trying to get them through, trying to get them around without engaging in combat, so that they can then rear charge. They are also sending up a unit of depleted axemen to try and stop that, but this unit is already wavering, so it's going to break, and the reinforcements are too far behind. This is a mistake on the attacker's part. They're losing 2 units of axemen basically by just being outflanked because they do not have reinforcements. They do have some units on the wall, and honestly what they should do is, what the attacker should have done here is, their pro should have told them, have the Scudetoi Axeman unit. Actually, you don't even need to have it here because you cannot use the stairway when a tower has collapsed. So he should have just had the Scudetoi Axeman over here, the crossbows over here, let them use all their throwables because these Thracian Oldsworn are amazing at cycle charging and they have amazing armor piercing damage, but they don't have shields. So if he had his axemen here, they could throw down from the wall into the sides, or even, it doesn't even matter if it's side or front, but they could have thrown their axes down into these Oldsworn, and the crossbows as well could have got some damage done. However, the reason they pulled back, and I guess it's fair enough, is because they were being thrown at or shot at by the armored Sagittari and the Leech Germanic skirmishers from the defenders. But still, the axemen unit are armored, they do have shields, so placing them over here would have been fine. Even if they took some fire from the archers, they would still have been able to use up all their ammo in time. I'm going to go back to normal speed and continue looking at this. This axeman unit is going to collapse soon as the Thracian Oldsworn are attacking from behind. This unit is at 66 kills already and they've only lost 20 men. That's really good. This other Oldsworn unit has 126 kills. They've lost 30 men only. So that has been really, really effective for us. Oh, there we go. Another charge going off. Yep. Oldsworn are going to cut through this unit. There are 28 men. This is the Bukalari Axeman unit. Really solid unit, but they're not going to be able to hold up the Thracian Oldsworn in a charge because Oldsworn are meant to charge in and do as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. Yep, as you can see, there we go. Guard Axemen are down to 6 men. My Noble Swaby Sword unit has lost over 40 men. They do have 88 kills though, so not bad. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to move them up in shield wall formation. Yeah, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to bait out all their throwables. So as you can see, there's a lot of throwables here, and I was trying to use them. But yeah, this was a bad misplay. This was a really bad mistake by me. I was trying to set them up over here just to have them in shield wall so that the attackers would make a mistake and use their throwables into the front of my unit. But yeah, unfortunately I had to pull them back a bit because they were getting charged, and that got a lot of the unit kills. So I think I lost like 20 men to throwables in the back. Now I have them in shield wall and actually doing what I originally planned to do, and that is just tank all the ammo from these units. So you see, that was good now. So yeah, I basically took like 2 damage only from the throwables from this unit, you know, once they were in formation, but unfortunately they did get throws up into my rear, which was not good either. And yeah, I'm trying to, again, move this forward just to, oh, there we go, Getting my own throwables off, actually. Oh my god, look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. A lot of damage. A lot of damage from these axes. Look at this. And I literally just killed the entirety that was left of this unit. So that's amazing. And now I'm going to pull back my swordsman. Yep. Some archers were running up front. I'm not sure why. Thracian Oswan were throwing. Got a couple friendly kills on me. But overall, it's okay. And there we go. He's going to charge in because these Oswan, again, they're meant for charging in and doing damage. Nope. Attacker is going to turn around, so the Oswan are going to pull back. So we just having a little cat and mouse game over here. Now over on this side, there was nothing you missed because we didn't really fight here. We held back. We pulled back all the units. I told my ally, it's fine, we're going to pull back. We're going to hold these streets instead over here, over here, and over here. And if they push down here, we already have our defenses prepared, so it's going to be okay. If we have a look here, there we go. They've got, this is Western Row. Oh, some Godin's Chosen pushing up from Omar. So the pro on the attacker side, Lord Omar, is sending up some of his elite Godin's Chosen, and that's because these guys are absolutely incredibly strong. He's got a unit here that's depleted, 30 men with 200 kills, and he has another unit here to support, but right now the Romans are sending up their units instead to deal with our defense. So we're still holding for now. As you can see on this side, the towers are finally being pushed up. Again, I get why he did this. So the reason the pro had his player attack delayed like this is so that the player starts landing on these walls while they're putting pressure over here, so that we are sandwiched a bit, because now we're going to have to decide, do we want to hold this and this while we also have to hold this or not? And it's a smart idea, but I still think it was a mistake. I think you should have pushed this up earlier, but that's just me. You know, every pro player has their own playstyle, has their own ideas about how a battle should be played, whether attacking or defending. So I would have done it a bit differently, but that's how Omar preferred to do it. And honestly, both have their own merits, so it's fair enough. Now, over here on this side, what happened was he had 3 towers that he pushed all the way around, okay? So he pushed them up here, he captured this gatehouse, which is fine. And yeah, because honestly, it doesn't matter. If you take this gatehouse, there's no way up here. You know, we're going to defend this no prob, and we have units here defending as well. So he's got 2 units of Gothic Cantina Defectors. They were fighting against some Eastern Armored Legio, but now there are some Atari guards being pushed up to stop this. They're also on the walls over here. They, with some Thracian Oathsworn, these are very deadly units again. And they did try to, actually didn't try, they butchered this Protectores Domestica units. But it's okay. I'm telling my teammate to pull back. There's no need to fight over here. We're just going to hold this choke point instead. This unit is on fire at will, it seems. So they're wasting throwables onto the tower, unfortunately. The towers over here are landing. Perfect. Gothic Cantina Defectors are landing on the walls. They're going to try and push down. So they're going to try push down over here. Again, this doesn't matter. If they try capture this, they're not going to be able to capture it on the wall. They have to get down here to actually try and capture it. I think they could capture it, but we have more men at the moment. Unfortunately, Fire at Will was left on. I'm not sure if I told him to leave it on or not. I'm pretty sure I would have told him not to, but yeah, it's okay. So they're using up their throwables over there. Over on this side, not much happening. Again, we just set up defenses. We're ready to hold. And on this side, they're just trying to push through and brute force their way in. There we go. This is the Roman Expedition player moving up some Antisignani, some Bucalari Axe Guardmen, and some Scutatoy Axes. Trying to get their throwables off. Nope, they did not throw there. Interesting. Okay, no, they're not pushing right now. They're just setting up formation to look at us as well. So we're both looking at each other at the moment over there. Over on this side, we have the Elite Palantina along with Godin's Chosen. Now, these Godin's Chosen are going to be able to do quite a lot of damage, and we're going to have to be very careful fighting them, especially since they are fully chevroned. I do have a unit of my Noble Swaby Swords ready to hold if these 2 Frankish units collapse. Right now, the Franks are doing a good job, though. Over on this side, they charged in. Again, this is a mistake. This is a mistake by the noob player. I'm not sure if the pro was noticing this or if he was busy elsewhere, but they charged in these units without using their throwables. What they should have done is, our units were standing here ready to defend. They should have stood here and used all their throwables, used up this entire unit throwables, used up that, used up this to soften their defenses before pushing up. So we are seeing mistakes still being made, even though there is a pro on the team. The attackers are still making some mistakes because, again, it is a lot of micro to look out for. Now, as for myself, I am holding with my Noble Swaby Sword unit over here, 140 kills, trying to hold as much as they can against this. The Franks are pulling back a bit, or these are the Ostrogoths actually. Over on this side, we're holding with the Eastern Armored Legio. And over on this side, we have the two Frankish units holding. Over here, so what they did was they pushed up 3 units, and they're just sitting here in formation. We're not going to use our throwables, there's no point. As you can see, I'm actually moving my units away because I'm like, okay, yep, they're not going to actually throw or do anything. They're not going to attack here, so let me move my units back for now. My ally is also moving up some archers, I guess. I think, oh, yep. The plan over here was he was trying to get his archers up onto the barricade and see if he had range to shoot over here, because this is a pretty good angle for him if he has the range to try and get side shots on these royals. And there we go, some supporting archer fire coming in trying to hit the Godin's Chosen, because as I said, Godin's Chosen are very strong, they are very deadly, so the best way to kill them is with range, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to use up some ammo from our elite Germanic archers. Unfortunately over here, so they broke through my Noble Swaby sword line, as you can see. It was a depleted unit, but they have broken through, and yeah, now they're going to charge through, so this side is going to get surrounded. This unit here is injured already, so we're just going to use the Sax unit to instead charge over here. Try to get a side charge in. Yep, that's what the Frank player is trying to do. They sent in archers to hold from the front. These are archers that are out of ammo, and they're going to try to get a side charge in with the Axe here band. So we are trying to do these little micro outflanks, trying to do as much damage as possible. Oh, the Godin's Chosen are gone berserk. So they're out of control. The player can no longer control them. They're going to run and do whatever they want to do. Still, this was a very solid flank over here. They got a decent amount of damage, and now he's going to pull back and charge these guys. Yep. Took some throwables from the Bukulari Axe Guardman in the back, and the unit is going to break. And our defenses on the front are pulling back, so we're going to hold this line, and we're going to hold here and here now. For now, at least. I'm not sure. We're going to hold until we have to pull back. Right now, we will have to try hold here because we are holding at this wall. What is this? Thracian Warriors? Wait. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Thracian Warriors charged in. So these Palatina defectors were fighting the Armored Legio. We had some Thracian Warriors over here, and we sent them through. Get a nice charge into the side of this unit, and it's breaking them. Most of the attack over here is actually dead. Most of the units are no longer alive. They are sending some units down, some Oathsworn, but oh, they're going to get charged by cavalry. Yep, that Oathsworn unit is going to die. They do have another Oathsworn unit on the wall, but the minute that comes down, it is going to die. Over on this side, they have a unit of melee cav, the Noble Germanic Horsemen, with some Thracian Oathsworn, and they're trying to push through over here, but they're not going to win. We have some Kontari, some shock cavalry of our own, along with Hatari Guard coming up to support, and those are both full units, so they're going to be able to hold there, no problem. Over on this side, there's not much left. There's only one unit of depleted effectors, and that's pretty much it, except for these units on the wall. Over on this side, yeah, as I said, they actually do not push up here at all, like for the entirety of the match, so there's not going to be anything going on there. This fight here, though, is going strong. We do have one of my Noble Swaby Swords unit that are being committed to throw over here, and unfortunately they're getting a bit shot in the back by these archers, I think. Nope, never mind. Okay, yeah, the archer fire is coming over, so it's not too bad. My ally is trying to do cycle charges with his Thracian Oathsworn, trying to get some damage while my Noble Swaby Swords hold. And the Swaby Swords are still going to do a lot of damage. Even though they're outnumbered and surrounded like this, they're still going to do a lot of damage because they are a very good unit and they do have, you know, max chevrons. Oathsworn, I think they can come back for another charge, maybe? Not sure. Oh, there we go. So we killed all the units over here coming up from the gatehouse, and the attackers finally tried to make use of this flank to score around. So we have to send up a unit of Armored Legio as well as the defeated Thracian Warriors to try and hold them back, try and stop them from flanking around us over here. I'm not sure if we're going to hold over here or if we're going to pull back. I think we may pull back to around here and around here if we have a look. My general was getting some more kills, 60 kills now on them. We cleaned up the units over here so that unit of Germanic Horsemen and the swords, we have managed to kill it and clean it up. We are sending a Germanic Mounted Warband here to actually capture the towers back. Nope, never mind, they're actually going to go and try kill these Palatina defectors instead, I think. Over here, they still have a unit of Thracian Oathsworn. They're just sitting on the wall, so yeah, I think they're too scared to come down because of the cav we have running around. Over on this front line, the Noble Swaby Swords from me are finally breaking, but they do have over 200 kills, so they have They've done pretty decent. Again, I would have liked to have done more with them, but they are fighting extremely outnumbered over there, and the unit is breaking. The Thracian Oathsworn, 235 kills, cycle charging in and out, doing a lot of good damage over there. Over on this side, we have the Atari guards are holding over here, holding against these Godan's Chosen. Again, very strong unit over there, as well as some Bukalari guard axemen. We have some East Armored Legio, so okay, the plan here, I think, is to hold over here and hold over here. Oh, shot cap coming in. Look at this charge. Beautiful. Beautiful charge. Absolutely annihilated that elite Palantina unit. Oh no, Cav got caught. He needs to order them away. There we go, he's ordering them away. Okay, they tried to charge him, but the Cav is going to get out of there without losing too much and having a very good charge. This unit is already at 122 kills, which is very, very nice to see. Okay, no. So yeah, okay, so the defense, we're falling back the defense to over here, to this town center, but we did leave a unit of Atari here, so it's never good to see a unit left behind, especially if they're outflanked, but the attackers are being a bit slow. So they've grouped up over here, and they're not sending anything around. So a couple mistakes being made by the pro on the attackers team, or maybe he has told his allies to do that, and again, the noobs are just being slow to respond and follow orders. But yeah, they have unit of shock caviar, Clipinari. The easiest thing possible would have been to send it over here, get a nice rear charge on this where they've broken the unit, and saved a lot of lives, because these Atari have still gotten over 100 kills. So that could have been a lot of lives saved if the cav or the flank was actually taken advantage of. Over on this side, the Eastern Armored Legio are holding. We have some, what is this, the Thracian Oathsworn? Yeah, we have Thracian Oathsworn running around the wall, and we have Hatari running around the wall. So the plan for this, and the reason we did this, is we knew it was probably sacrificing the unit, but we're trying to run them all the way around the wall over here to try and catch these crossbows, these elite ballistari. So we are sacrificing a unit kind of to try and catch them. We thought hopefully we will catch the player unaware, but yeah, it was part of their plan. They knew we were coming, and they were ready for it. The Atari guards here, they did break. Put up a good fight, but they broke. Yeah, oh my god, Godan's Chosen just dying. They're out of formation. They're berserk, so they're just doing whatever they want. And we're going to make use of that, capitalize on that with our shock cab. They're going to send up their own shock cab. Oh no, this is actually melee tag master cab. They're trying to send their own cab to stop it, but yeah, they're going to be afraid to come too close to us. Again, I think the attackers were being a bit too slow, a bit too passive, you know, with how they attacked at certain spots. Oh my god, that is a dangerous angle. The Visigoth player has his Thracian Oathsworn on the wall, throwing down into the backs of the Eastern Armored Legio, and that's going to break them. So very good play there by the attackers. Very nice play. Having these guys on the wall, throwing down into the rear, that has done a lot of damage. Oh, cab charge coming in from the Kontari. Nice, not a bad charge, not a bad charge. They had 140 kills before, 160 kills, 165, nearly 170 kills. So, not a bad charge, but I don't think it was worth it for the kills, because he did lose a lot of that unit charging in. But yeah, it's okay. We're pulling back to the next stage of our defense over here. At the moment, we're planning on holding here and here. As you can see, I have another unit on my Noble Swabian Swords, and we have some Thracian Oathsworn as well. I still have I have 3 units. So yeah, I have 4 of my elite units left still. We lost 2 units, one over there and one over there, but we still have 4 of my units left alive, and my allies still have quite a decent amount of units, as well as a couple reserves sitting in the back. Over on this side, so yeah, as you can see, there was a bit of a scuffle over here. That unit of Gothic Palantina defectors that were alive, they tried to capture this tower, but the tower plus the cavalry were able to kill them off pretty soon, and now the cav's just running back and recapping all the other stuff. This cav is kind of stuck out here though, because as you can see, we no longer have control of this area, and they're sending a unit of Clipinari. So the cav that's over here is going to be stuck, so they need to capture this as soon as possible and run out the settlement, or capture this, or even just retreat to the tower, so they fight the enemy cav with our tower support. Now this is going to be a bit, this is going to take a bit of time. We're going to fast forward. Yeah, I'm not going to cut because I don't think it takes too long, but yeah, we're just going to wait while the attackers get ready to push up. So at the moment, yeah, there we go. So we were planning on holding this and this initially, but we decided to fall back here as it would be a better place to hold with like this. Have this become a new kill box. Anything over here, you know, basically being perfectly situated for us to either shoot in the sides or shoot from the front. So we have units of Germanic Spearmasters. I have 2 units of Noble Swaby Swords holding. We have a Pike and Spear stack over there. And I think we should be sending up a unit of Pikes to hold there as well soon. Okay, not yet, but we do have a spare. We do have 2 spare units of pikes that can be sent up to do that. Over here, we are so they're trying to bait the attacker to pull through the gatehouse and get oil dropped on them. But yeah, the Roman expedition player was not going to let that happen to him. So they sent the cav in. They tried to draw him out, but he did not follow. He did not take the bait. He's instead just going to sit inside and cap it back so that the cav can't get back into the settlement. We're still fast forwarding at times 4 speed because again they do take quite a while over here. Oh wait, hold up. Okay, so this was the Atari guard unit from earlier. They chased all the way over here, but the crossbows just came off the wall, and then the sword units down here used their throwables to cut through the Atari. Yeah, now they just lost the fight against the Old Spawn. If we look at the balance of power, the attackers have 4,300 men, and us defenders have 4,700 men. We started the fight with equal numbers, so it was an equal fight at the start. Right now, we are trading positively, okay? So that is good for us to see. And now we're going to go back to normal speed as we have the skirmish going. So all our archers are over here shooting at these crossbows, because these crossbows are now going to be the most dangerous units that the attackers have. They're trying to, like, stack the crossbows inside this axeman unit, but it's a depleted unit, so it's not going to cover the crossbows. And yeah, they're going to try and fall back, try run away. Because yeah, this unit, both of them are basically a half health with full ammo, and to have full ammo skirmishes die is a major loss. And that's going to be mistakes that you see the attackers make. And yeah, there you go, more volleys coming in. Oh, this time it's on the pikes. Okay, so we are trying to shoot their pikes as well, because we have a couple targets that are priority. Pikes and skirmishers are the priority for us to target. Killing their skirmishers is obviously very important, because right now, this unit of pikes and spears up here, if they have a crossbow unit over here with heavy ammo, they can cut through this with no problem. So we do need to try and take care of that, and right now, these crossbows are further back. They're unable to be used in that, and that's okay. That's good for us. We're holding right now with some Germanic Spearmasters. There we go. Unit of pikes coming up from the Ostrogoths, trying to get them in here, trying to reinforce this and make this a nice... Oh, there we go. Spears going into spear wall. They're going to be able to hold for a decent amount of time while the pikes get here to set up. More units charging in from the attackers. But our pikes are here now, and they're going to get their pikes down. Yep, there we go. The pikes are down. And this is going to become a kill zone now. We have pikes and spears holding both the top of the ramp and over here. We have our archers shooting back. If we have a look, their bows are nearly out of ammo, so they don't have the greatest skirmisher capabilities. They could use their crossbows to skirmish us back, but they're not. Instead, the crossbows are just sitting here. Actually, wait, I think they're shooting. They do have 58 kills. I think they are shooting at the... Yeah, they're shooting over here. They are trying to use their crossbows to do some damage to these spears and pikes. And that is a good idea, except these crossbows are nearly dead. They're nearly wavering. They haven't dealt with our skirmishes. Instead, they're just tanking the shots while we shoot at them. And that is a misplay on the attacker's part, okay? You guys let me know down in the comment section, you know? How would you have used your skirmishes better? I think they should have used their skirmishes to skirmish us back instead. Because now, look at this. This unit is down to 40 men. They have full ammo. And they're basically going to waver and break. And that's never good to see. You always want your skirmishers to use up all their ammo before they die. This crossbow unit is moving up as well. They're at half a unit left, 90 men. And they do also have full ammo. And okay, this is why. They've moved up another unit of depleted crossbows. They've got some infantry here. And they're going to try and attack over this barricade. But what's going to happen? So... oh my god, yeah, a lot of throwables coming out, but that's okay because our unit is protected by the barricade. And look at these spears, oh my god. Spears are being thrown into the back of this crossbow unit. They're gonna lose even more men. If we have a look, these Spearmasters are 30 kills. They've only used up half their ammo. And now we have archers over here, Armored Sagittari, and they're gonna shoot down these crossbows. So we are trying to target their crossbows wherever we see them. I have my Noble Baby Swords close to the front line to support if needed. Right now they're just going to sit in shield wall, so if they do get shot at, you know, they just absorb the ammo. We have some depleted archers, so archers that are out of ammo charging into combat over here. But yeah, this is not looking good for the attackers. They were too afraid of the barricades because we don't have crossbows. So without crossbows, we can't do too much. Oh my god, look at this volley. Look at this volley coming in on these crossbows. This is a unit that has full ammo, but they've started losing men to our archer fire. And again, crossbows can arc, guys. So they could have their crossbows here shooting back, but they are not doing that, which is a mistake by them. Also a mistake bringing crossbows in the first place. They should have brought full archers with maybe 1 or 2 units of crossbows for piercing through our pipelines. Instead, they brought quite a lot of crossbows and did not use them correctly. So very poor usage of the skirmishes, of their skirmishes from the attacker side. Again, they're not attacking this side here because they're afraid of getting thrown at. But honestly, they need to commit forces here. They need to open us up on another flank because we're holding this flank with both pikes and spears. So making us have to defend this flank with something else would be very important. And yes, we have throwables, but it's only a half a volley left on this old spawn unit, and that's pretty much it. Oh, there we go. Over on this side, I moved up my Noble Baby Swords. They were getting nice throwables off. They butchered quite a lot of men. They got 80 kills basically just using their throwables, but now they are charging into melee. Oh, yep, there we go. These armored Sagittari once again shooting these crossbows and killing them. Crossbows are trying to fire, but again, look at that. So they are firing their crossbows at our spears and our pikes. And again, guys, using crossbows to break through spears and pikes, that is a very smart play. But not at the expense of the crossbow unit dying with most of their ammo still on them because they're being skirmished by us. And that's exactly what they're doing here. They're using the crossbows to shoot at that, but they're dying to our skirmishes. So overall, that is a very bad play by the attackers. This unit of Axemen here is breaking. My Noble Baby Swords cutting through them. 100 kills now. They're going to also be able to kill these Godin's Chosen, I hope. Friendly fire coming in, so I have my Noble Baby Swords here throwing axes, and it's meant to be hitting the enemy, but it's also hitting my own units as well a bit. Still, I think it's doing more damage to the enemy than it is friendly fire, so I'm just going to let them throw. This unit of Godin's Chosen is down to 110 men. We are down to 80 men. So yeah, it definitely caused more damage than it did friendly fire. My Noble Baby Swords got 45 kills from using throwables, and that was all on Godin's Chosen, which again is a very strong unit. Over on this side, yeah, the Romans, I don't know. The Romans are so passive. They just keep sitting and looking at us. They're sitting and looking at us and letting us, you know, control the pace of the battle, which again is not something you want to let your opponent do. You want to take the battle on your terms. You do not want your opponent to be able to control the pace of the fight, which is exactly what we're able to do right now. The spears are out of position, unfortunately, and these pikes have no protection from range. But then again, these are elite Ostrogothic pikemen, so they do have shields with some missile block chance themselves. Not the greatest, but something. Something is better than nothing. Over on the side, still haven't made any move. They just have these 2 units sitting here just to try stop us flanking them, I guess. Over on the side, okay, there we go. Noble Baby Swords are breaking, finishing off with 132 kills. Not good at all. These Godins, yeah. Actually, the Godins basically just cut through me over there, so that's not good to see. We have archers here once again shooting at their crossbows. These crossbows actually did some damage, unlike the other units. So they do have 140 kills. Again, not good because they still have basically half their ammo. They could have done like double the amount of damage. But instead, they are going to get shot and they are going to waver and break. The Godins here are out of control, so they're going to just run through. Yep. Noble Baby Swords are broken from me. The Godins are going to charge into these pikes and spears. And this is good. We want to kill Godins with our pikes. We don't want to fight the Godins sword to sword because they can do a lot of damage. These archers are switching target now onto the Godin's Chosen because of how strong they are and how much of damage they're doing. This unit already has 130 kills even though they're out of control, and they're getting shot at by these armored Sagittari. Again, a little bit of friendly fire on our own unit, but again, we're doing more damage to the Godins, which is important. Over on this side, so they ran out to spearmen, so I'm going to instead reinforce the pike line myself using my Noble Baby Swords. So as you can see, both units of Noble Baby Swords are now going to be committed to this fight, with the pikes supporting them from behind. And this is basically impossible for the attackers to push through because they don't have range. They have one crossbow that has... They have 2 units of crossbows with full ammo. But the unit itself is so depleted, they're not going to be able to do much damage. And yeah, and they're still getting completely wiped out. Oh no, actually, yeah, we're wiping out their pikemen. They could fight our pikes with their pikes, but we're targeting that with our skirmishers. I think the biggest reason that the attackers are struggling at the moment is bad skirmisher usage by their players. I'm not sure if it was, again, a mistake by the noobs or if it was a mistake by the pro player. A mistake by the pro player means he did not tell them to use their skirmishes in a smart manner. A mistake by the noobs means he told them, you know, use your skirmishes to shoot at this and shoot at that, but the noobs just didn't, you know, do it correctly, or they just didn't, you know, send the commands out to their units. Either way, we have spare bows in the back, which is very important because we have half ammo here, we have some ammo here, and we're using these shots all on very deadly units from the attackers, and that is their pikes. Yeah, okay, right now... Oh no, we are shooting at this pike unit here. So this pike unit is actually very protected because the attackers put a unit of Elite Palantina and Cornoti Senors in spear wall or in Testudo, and they're trying to basically block the shots for the pikes. Again, it's not very well executed. Half the pike unit is sticking out over there and over there, so they are still going to take some damage. This unit of pikes is running away. They're down to half health. They haven't even seen melee combat yet. They've just been shot to death instead. These crossbows are picking up some kills, but again, it's only 27 men, unfortunately. So as much as they're trying to get some damage off, they're basically not going to do much. Yeah, they didn't get a single kill from that volley. That, and they're also shooting into the back of their own men over there. Oh, there we go. We finally have some damage over here. So they are charging in. They realize that they need to apply pressure here because attacking over here is a bit of a dead end for them. We're going to be able to hold them quite long. So they did charge in over here. They charged in some Godin's Chosen. This is a full unit of Godin's Chosen with 100 kills already. Charged in some Herculani Senors and Elite Palantina. Right now, they're attacking the unit that we have protecting the front. The Protectoris Domestici. This unit of Oathsworn through their throwables. They got 20 kills, but they're out of ammo. So we're trying to send up some other units. There we go. Trying to send up some spears that have throwables instead. Right now, the attackers are not attacking the barricade. Even though they sent the unit to attack the barricade, it was intercepted, or the unit did run and get into combat instead with these infantry over here, with these Protectoris Domestici. So, yeah, holding. Oh no, this unit's gonna break. With 93 men still, they're gonna break. That's not good. Spears are running as fast as they can, trying to get up here to use their throwables. There we go. The attackers are gonna attack the barricade now. The barricade is starting to take damage. Going up pretty quickly, 10%, but it's fine. There will be time for us to use our throwables here, which is good. We're trying to get as much damage from our throwables. Before we fight them in melee combat, try to kill them with throwables. There we go. Look at this. This is good now. Spears coming in from above, hitting these men. Infantry is blocking some of it with their shields, but they are taking a lot of damage as well. Barricade is down to 50% health, I think. There we go. Elite Palantina is breaking. Only the Herculanis left. Still dropping men. Okay, spears are out of ammo, but 77 kills from throwables, guys. This is why you have to use throwables smartly. Because the unit can get like 50 to 75 kills basically just from using their 1 or 2 volleys of throwables available to them. We don't have any more throwables left though. Or we do have one unit of Atari guards, but they're too far away. They're not really going to be able to get up in time. Oh, actually they may be able to. Barricade is at 63%, and the Herculani Senor unit is no longer attacking it. Instead, they're back attacking the Protectoris Domestici unit over here. The Godin's Chosen are up to 160 kills as well. There we go. I think they're going to attack the barricade now. The Atari are running, trying to get there as quickly as possible. Over on this side, it's just a pike v pike fight. So we have pikes from the defenders, from the Ostrogoths, Elite Ostrogothic pikemen, supporting my 2 units of Noble Swavey swords in shield wall, and we're going up against the Gothic pikemen from the Visigoths, along with their axes and swords trying to support them. So just a big grind fest over there. The Hatari guard on the barricade, are they going to get a throw off? Nope. Nope, they did not get a throw off. This is not good. Okay, they're in melee combat and they did not get a charge bonus off or a throw off. That is bad, but it's fine. We're going to make... Yeah, there we go. We're going to try and combat that. We're going to send in some Thracian Oathsworn. We're going to try and move up. We have a unit of spears and pikes set up over here as well. This is from the Franks. The Franks sent up spears and pikes. He's going to try and move over and try to take control of the fight. Yeah, there we go. Right now, we're just going to hold them back with the Old Spawn. Old Spawn Warriors charging and doing some damage. The Atari guards only have 13 kills, and they lost half their units. And that's because they did not get the charge bonus off, unfortunately. But it's fine. We have the Iteration Old Spawn holding. The Spears and Pikes are moving up together, trying to get over here to support them, let the Old Spawn pull out safely. Over on this front, again, we have the Spears, the Eastern Auxilia Palantina, holding with the Menelao Toy. These Pikes don't really have much kills, yes, but, you know, it's okay. Over on this back side, yeah, the fighting ended here. The troops they sent around basically all died. We killed them with archer fire, we killed them with my noble Swaby swords, and we stopped the rest of them with our spears and our pikes. And now we have our cav back in. They do have, you know, a pikeman here holding because they're afraid of this unit of 24 cavalry. But yeah, they're not going to be much of a threat on the back anymore. Over here we have the Old Spawn still holding 91, 92 kills. And they're down to half health, but honestly, they did a good job because they're fighting elite Godan's Chosen. This Godan's Chosen unit, they were down to 120 men, I think. Now they've basically lost 80 men to the Old Spawn. And remember, this is some of the strongest infantry the attackers have because it's got full gold chevrons on top of a great infantry unit. So for us to kill it using a Thracian Old Spawn unit, even though they're losing a lot, which just shows how good these Godan's Chosen are, it's fine because in the end we're taking out one of their very elite units, and it's currently out of control as well, so that's good to see. And we do have set up a unit of spears and pikes over here, so no matter where the attackers come, we do have spears and we do have pikemen. But yeah, this has been a crazy battle. And for the players, it was a lot of stress because, you know, for the pros especially, trying to order the noobs around, telling them, you know, do this, do that, and making sure that no mistakes were made, you know, is a very, very tiresome job. But yeah, it's something you have to do to maximize our effectiveness in combat. Out of ammo archers charging in over here. There's 9 minutes left in the replay. The balance of power is looking in favor of the defenders. 2,900 men to 1,900 men. A 1,000 gap difference at the moment. And that's mainly because of us having full health spears and pikes saved up at the back, and the attackers losing all their skirmishes early and very badly. Oh, what is going on here? Hold up. Cav running up. Magister Militum and Tagmata Cavalry. Oh no, wait. There we go. The unit ran through the gatehouse. He realizes and pulls back. Okay, not bad. We nearly... That's what we were trying to do. We were trying to bait them through the gatehouse, and it nearly worked. The Tagmata Cavalry lost 4 men only, but it could have been worse if the player was not paying attention. So, good spot by the Roman Expedition player over there. Back over to this side. They have broken through the pikes and spears we had here. Honestly, I don't think we even did much damage, so... really good attack over here by the attackers, breaking through the spear and pike line. But we do have new lines of defense. We have Eastern Auxilia Palantina, and we have my elite Noble Swaby Swordsman in reserve to hold. This is a full health unit, and I think it is my last elite unit actually. Yeah, besides these 2 units that are on the front line, but these 2 are obviously depleted. But they're very depleted, but they do have over 200 kills, and over 170 kills on that. These pikemen are also nearly at 200 kills, so doing good damage, and they haven't even lost many men, which is great for us. Oh. The Old Spawn unit here died. That's okay though. The Old Spawn died, but now they have to push through another unit of spears and pikes over here. And again, the attackers are out of throwables on all their infantry, and they're out of ammo on all their skirmishes. Or those units that do have ammo, like this Ballistari unit, is very low on men. As you can see, it's only got 14 kills. It's used up, well, it's got basically full ammo, but it's lost more than half its unit. Now, there we go, wavering. My Noble Swaby Swords are starting to waver over there. But yeah, the biggest mistake made by the attackers this match, and I think you viewers will agree with me, is they did not use their skirmishes effectively, and that is going to be the biggest factor as to why the balance of power is currently in favor of us with only a 400-man difference actually. The attackers are kind of bringing it back. Wow. It was 2,900 to 1,900. That was a 1,000-man difference. Now it's basically 2,200 to 1,500. So it's actually kind of swinging around here. What the heck? Oh, Atari guards coming up. I think they're ready to charge in, but they have to be careful. These Ballistari are depleted, but they could still do some damage. Possibly. Gothic Palantina Defectors pushing up 130 kills on them right now. Full gold chevrons as well on them. I still have my 1 unit of Noble Swavy Swords holding with over 200 kills. This fight here, yep, this fight is going on. So we have a new line of spears and pikes. The attackers are not going to catch a break. We have Eastern Auxilia Palantina, and we have Eastern Roman Empire Menelautoi. And we also have my Noble Swavy Swords that are in front of them actually holding the line right now. I don't know why. Maybe I had to push them up to hold the line while these units, while the other units set up. But oh wait, there we go. Thracian Oathsworn pushing in as well. Nope, Thracian Oathsworn are pulling back. Okay, I thought they were going to run in, but I guess they tried to get a charge off and now they're running back. Over on this side though, oh my god, what is happening? These pikes are being slaughtered. I think it's by the crossbows. No, crossbows only have 24 kills. 26 kills now. But yeah, these pikemen are being slaughtered. They're down to less than half health. And the attackers are sending in their Godin's Warlord. This is the general for the pro player. This is Omar's Langobard General, the Godin's Warlord, fully upgraded again, charging straight into pikes. And that just shows what a great unit they are. To be able to charge straight into pikes like this and slaughter them is crazy. I know it's a depleted unit of pikes, but hey, it's still pikemen. Okay, over on this side, the attack has fallen. So we had the spears, we had the pikes holding, and now we're sending our cav around. And we're sending all cav available to us. So we're sending the Eastern Roman General, we're sending some lances from the Ostrogoths. My own Swaby General is going in, as well as the Germanic Mounted Warband from the Franks. All the cav is going to push through and they're going to try and flank around. Balance of power is looking far in our favor now. We got the difference in men back up to nearly 1,000. The attackers do see this and they're sending their cav around. They have Tagmata Cavalry, some of the strongest melee cavalry in the game, along with a Gothic General as well. They also have another unit here, the Bucalari Guard Cavalry from the Roman Expedition. So they do have some cav to contest us, but the match is coming to its conclusion over here. All remaining infantry forces are being sent to the front lines. Noble Swavy Swords are still holding here, supported by the pikes and spearmen, and all the normal infantry is pushing up over here. Spears, pikes, as well as Thracian Oathsworn. And I think the cav is going to come in. Yep, cav coming in now. Lance is going for a charge in on this melee cav. Not bad, Germanic Lancers. Only 1 kill so far. Bucalari Guard Cav starting to rack up kills in the melee. We have, oh, there's the General. This is the Gothic General. We're trying to sandwich them. I think we have more cav at this point. Okay, yeah. So the Lancer cav here is just being used to hold the enemy back while we try and deal with the General. Oh no, actually there we go. Magister Militum coming in. This is good. Get the Magister Militum in there. Let the Shock Cav cool out. Okay, Magister Militum charged in. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is what I'm talking about by getting the noobs to, by ordering the noobs around and leading them, we're making them do plays like this, So they held there long enough with the shock cav. Now they swapped in a unit of melee cav to hold, which will do much better in the melee. And they're getting the shock cav out to support the other fight instead. Getting some charges in onto these Gothic General. Oh, Magister Militum coming in from the attackers now. From the Western Roman Empire player. Just cav back and forth charging over here. And this Magister Militum is holding very well as well. The infantry fight is going our way. If they're able to kill our generals, because we have a general in the front line, 2 generals in the front line. If they were able to kill that and cause a chain rout, they could still pull off something here. Oh, nope, enemy general just died. I think this is the Godin's chosen here. So the Godin's Warlord just died. Still, the unit has 60 men left. They've only lost 100 men, and they've racked up over 200 kills already against pikemen, which is crazy. And there's more pikes even over here. The Germanic pikes are also pushed up. So yeah, this Godin's Warlord is fighting for their life. They're trying to do as much as they can. Over here, the Magister Militum is wavering. The Gothic General has broken. And with the Gothic General broken, any remaining Visigothic forces, there are no remaining Visigothic forces, never mind. I was going to say would be breaking as well. But yeah, as you can see, 1 minute 20 left. Defenders have 1,500 men, attackers have 300 men left. So you can see that we were able to pull off a victory for this one. Royal Sione is also coming in from the Ostrogoths. Where were they? Why were they not in the fight? I don't know. But yeah, Royal Sione is coming in, charging in over here as well. Trying to finish off this Gothic Warlord. This Godan's Warlord. Even rear charge them with my Noble Swaby Swords. I have a unit of 40 Swaby Swords that charge them in the back. But the Godan's Warlords, they're only down 10 men since we last checked. But they're up about 30 kills. So doing an out. Oh, there we go. They're starting to waver. Starting to lose men. Down to 30 men. 25 men, yeah. Okay, now they're losing men and they're not really getting any more kills. The Magister Militum is still holding, but they're losing men slowly. My Swaby Nobles are actually, I think, losing this fight. Okay, no, combat is even. Units winning slightly. There's Germanic Lancers, yeah, that could charge in to help at any point. The Cav over here is breaking. The attack master cavalry is breaking. And the general is being surrounded now by some of my Noble Swaby Swords, some more cavalry. And yeah, Godan's Warlords finally broke. How many kills did they get actually? Can I have a see? Oh, there we go. End of replay. Let's have a look at the results. So, first off, you can see the pro armies over here. Yeah, 98 kills with my general, 220, 250, 160, 215, 190, 136. So, not the greatest performance by me, but my units did well enough. Could have done a lot better. The pro on the attacker side did a lot better. As you can see, 234 kills on his general, 464 kills on one of his Godan's Chosen, 250, 410 on another unit, 260, 220, 237. So the attacking pro definitely did a lot better in terms of kills, but I think did a lot worse in terms of strategy and in leading his noob team. Next up, we can look at my Eastern Roman player. Not bad, nearly 200 kills on his one unit of cheap cab that he brought. All his skirmishers did good, about 150 kills average. Tharshey Guard all did okay. One unit only got 44 kills, but that's the unit we sent around the walls. Islamic Legio didn't do the greatest, but they were just meant to hold and they did their job. Same for the Protectoris Domestici. His Menelaus Toy and Eastern Auxilia Palestina did okay, but nothing special. Von Wackett, which is the commander for the Franks, his cav didn't do the greatest, but it was only a warband. His archers, though, 300 kills on one, 115 on the other, 37 on the third. I think that was the archer unit that got skirmished down early on in the fight. His axes, his axe hairband, all did really, really good. I think that's because he managed to use his throwables on all of them before charging them in. So he got good kills on throwables and then got some more kills on charging. 200, 200, 120, 115, 115 basically. Royal Astrotones didn't do the greatest actually. Lead Sword Hairband, not the greatest either, but his pikes and spears did okay. For the Ostrogothic player, Danilo, his army was not meant to hold. While Baron's army and Vaughn's army was more for just holding the enemy back, Danilo's army was all about cycle charging, which reflects in his kills. 30 kills on his cav, nearly 115 to 175 on all his archers, 446 kills on his Osborne, 170 there, 110 there, 200 plus kills on both of that. Even his Thracian warriors got 150 kills. His Gothic warband just died, but look at these Gothic Falksmen. 400 gold unit with 115 kills, 116 kills there, 30, 80, not bad. Elite Ostrogothic pikemen over 260 kills. Good performance by them. Now for the attackers, we have Vinny. He was commanding the Visigoths. Good kills on 3 of his Oathsworn. I don't know, this Oathsworn died. There's no way this died in combat, in melee combat. Even if they got charged by Cav, I think they would have done better. So they must have been shot to death instead. All his archers actually did good. So Vinny did solid with his skirmishers, and his entire army also did really well. Even his Gothic Mantina defectors all did pretty solid. Hola was commanding the Western Roman Empire, and he is the one that did not make good use of his skirmishers at all. 3 units of Ravenna Elite Ballistari. These are so expensive. These are so good. But 8 kills, 21 kills, 58 kills, that is terrible. So this is probably the reason that they lost the attack. If these units each had, say, 175 kills, that probably would have been enough to turn the tide for the attackers for them to win. But his infantry all did okay. Well, not all of it. Some of it did bad. These 4 units did good. Elite Palantina all actually did really solid. Armageri Defensor is cheaper unit, but did really well as well. Same for his spears. Alucard 97 gold is commanding the Roman expedition. Again, 2 units of crossbows just wasted. That did absolutely nothing. 1 unit did okay with 140 kills. But yeah, that is the reason the attackers lost. You guys can see it for yourselves. 3, 4, 5. 5 units of skirmishers basically died with full ammo and no kills. That is extremely bad to see for them. These Bukalari Axe Guardmen, all of 3 units of them did really good. Nearly 300 kills on all of them. The other 3 units did okay as well. His Gutatoy Axemen did not do as good, but they did well enough. And his Antisignani also solid performance from there. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This was a lot of fun to cover, not as much fun to set up, okay? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button, guys. We hit 5k subs recently, and now we're trying to push for 10k, so, help me get over there by hitting that subscribe button and turning on those post notifications. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Konnichiwa.